Does your marathon look like this?
There's an FPS marker, but I mean, like, honestly, when you're targeting 60, it's kind of pointless.
Do you want your marathon to look like this? Well, let me teach you how. Also, just to lay it out real quick on this video, I am in no way a tech expert or a PC expert. I'll put on the screen right now what my CPU and my GPU is. I will say I do have a really good PC. I don't think it's like super high end, so these settings should be good for pretty much every player. I also want to say as well that Bungie themselves put out an article on their website that I'll link down below, and they basically put an article out about the Marathon PC Performance Guide. They went through in detail as to what the recommended settings are to give you the best performance. However, I'm not gonna lie, I have followed these settings in the past and I really did not see any improvement, just being honest. Now I love Marathon, I've had Marathon since launch, however I could tell from the get-go that this game was not properly optimized. Now don't get me wrong, games always update and always change. I feel like from season to season the optimization will get better, although I will say the general vibe with Marathon at the minute is that you see a lot of people online talking about the optimization and that like it's not enough FPS for a competitive extraction shooter. Now don't get it twisted, I don't really play Marathon for the competitive aspect. I know there is rank in the game, however I just want the most smoothest frames on a game that I know can run smooth frames. I also play a lot of Overwatch and Fortnite and all those other games like that, and they run at a super high FPS number, but unfortunately Marathon for me has always lingered around the 70 FPS mark, but now I'm getting around 170 FPS. So let me show you guys my settings. Okay, so let's go into settings. Also I'm getting like 180 FPS in the lobby, which is kind of crazy, but it's only the lobby, so who really cares? So let's head to settings and go to video. So for windowed mode, I have it on full screen. That's my resolution of my monitor. Also just a heads up as well, my current monitor is 165 Hertz. I know people are probably going to be like, well, why are you bragging about getting anything more than 165 frames because you're not going to see them? But the thing is, I like the frame rate cap to be as high as possible because I want there to be room for it to run as smooth as possible. I feel like if I put it at 160, then it's going to naturally dip below 160 when I want the best frames. So naturally, of course, I have VSync off. I have a frame rate cap enabled on. I think I turned this on just because I saw on Bungie's website when I last updated my settings. On their guide, I think there was a tip to put the frame rate cap enabled on. Maybe you could turn that off, but I just prefer having it on right now and it seems to be working. So my frame rate cap is 240. Field of view is obviously as high as possible. I feel like everyone should be. My brightness and stuff is fine. I know this is not related to FPS settings, but I feel like it's worth going over. Okay, let's get to advanced video settings. So my graphics quality is on custom. I have my anti-aliasing on NVIDIA DLSS. I have my resolution scaling on balanced, so it's kind of disabled these, and I have my frame rate generation on NVIDIA DLSS frame generation. My screen space ambient collision is off. My my dyslexia is not going to like this word. My anisotropic filtering, Jesus Christ, is on 4 times. My texture quality is on medium. My shadow quality is on medium. My environment detail distance is on high. My character detail distance is on medium. My foliage detail distance is on low. My light shafts are on medium, and my motion blur is turned off. That's just a personal preference for this one, but everything else up here seems to be working for me at the moment. Down here as well on additional video, I don't have a HDR on because I don't have a HDR display, so I'm unable to even have that enabled. My chromatic aberration is turned off. My UI refresh rate is on medium, and my NVIDIA reflex is turned on. It actually is on and boost, so I might give that a go, but for now I just have it on. I might actually try it on, and I'll put some clips in and show you guys what it's like with it on, but I don't think it's going to make like any major changes to how the game runs, but we'll see. Okay, so here's some footage with me with it on plus boost, and okay, I can kind of feel a bit of a difference. I kind of feel like the frames are a little bit more stable, and I'm definitely seeing a big push in the frame rate. Okay, so that was my settings, and as well, just another heads up, but if you want to change or tweak anything for your personal system, that is completely optional. I feel like settings like these are always good to just play around with, just to see how it works best for you. I know it is kind of annoying in Marathon that there isn't like a practice range or anything like that, just so you can really mess around with your settings and see and feel what's comfortable. I know it's annoying jumping in from game to game and doing your settings in game because it kind of puts a disadvantage to your teammates. The best thing I can recommend is maybe going to a game solo or play as a rook, maybe just maybe hide in a bush or like some kind of area of the map and just tweak with like how the frame rate is. Tweak settings like this to whatever feels personally best to you. But like I say, I'm currently rocking this and it's made my season 2 experience way more seamless. But like I say, that is my settings video for Marathon. I completely agree with people's feedback though, saying that Bungie needs to kind of optimize their game a little bit better. I do feel like the default settings and gameplay wise last season, the performance was not that great. I think the downfall is when you get into a team fight, when I was running like the default settings or just tweaked it just a little bit, the frame rate was around like 60, and it was just like, that's not acceptable for a 2026 game. So hopefully it works out well for you. Also, if this video helped you out, please go and follow me on Twitch. I'm streaming a lot of Marathon at the moment and I need more Marathon mutuals. I don't have many people to play the game with, so please come over to the Twitch so we can geek out about stupid things in Marathon. I also stream a lot of Overwatch, Fortnite, Dead by Daylight, games like that. The usual slop. But if Twitch is not your thing, please just leave a like and a comment and maybe subscribe to me, please. I don't usually do settings videos, but I'm definitely in my YouTube era and posting a lot more, so come along for the ride. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on Twitch. Bye!